I can dip 50 kg, pull up 40 kg. I learned the handstand push-up in 4 days, all at 15 years old. Keep in mind, I did all of this in only 1 year of consistent training. Training is so much simpler than you think. Here are the basic steps. First is always remember your goals. Always remember why you started training. Don't drift into like the bodybuilding trap of calisthenics or into the over optimization. Like I changed every single like part of my workout because it's like more optimal for science or whatever. Bro, just do what you enjoy. Second, specificity is always number one. Training specific to your goals. Training the front lever if you want to unlock the front lever. Not training weighted pull-ups and getting like a ultra heavy weighted pull-up. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. But don't think that there's this one exercise or one specific thing to rule them all. You probably already know specificity is number one, yet you're not applying it to your training. What do you mean, bro? I train push-pull legs, which is a bodybuilding split, but I've done it for calisthenics because it just works that way. You need to change push-pull legs or upper-lower to a movement-based split. This is what powerlifters and gymnasts do. This is because it specifies a lot more to your actual movements instead of doing like 10 chest isolations, even though you're training like dips. So figure out what your goals are and list them out clearly. 90 to 80% of the time, you should be training those movements specifically, not an isolation exercise to help with that one muscle of it. An example of how you would set this up would be you could have like a dip and pull up day, then like a bench and maybe deadlift day, or a front lever and planche day, or a handstand push up and muscle up day, or even like a squat and calf day. Like whatever you do, whatever movement you want to get better at, or whatever like muscle you want to train, and so you train towards that specifically. You have these days so that you can have more frequency, that's number one, and just doing the exercise more often, and also more total volume. So if you do an exercise more often and just do more of it, you're guaranteed to get better at it. So direct your focus specifically to your goals, not to these push-pull legs bodybuilding style splits. The guy who does more pull-ups is going to be better at pull-ups. The guy who does more squats is going to be better at squats. It's obvious. So don't fall for this bodybuilding trap of calisthenics. This is because all the big influencers are for bodybuilding, and so everyone copies them because they think that's like the best way to train. Even for strength, even for skills, they think that that's the best way to train. And so they just copy that because that's the only thing they've heard. The third part to making your training simpler, yet more effective, is like locking in these outside factors, these like factors which are not in your training but do influence it. Stuff like socializing with others. Like, bro, socializing is so OP. You probably live in a cave right now, and so you're like, actually, I don't think socializing is that good, but bro, go and socialize for 1 day at least. And also do your like obvious self-improvement habits. Like, okay, you've heard them so many times, but are you actually doing them? Are you going and doing like your meditation every single day? If you're not, bro, start from the simpler and like smaller habits. Do 1 minute of meditation, 2 minutes. Like take like a cold shower instead of a warm one. Do those like, small little habits that'll give you a big change. You are currently over optimizing and like over analyzing every single thing about your training instead of going and living your life. Teaching others how to do what you do if you've gotten to a decent level. Like literally sleeping enough. Bro, you're watching these fitness videos because you have this like whatever problem you have and you're wasting sleep doing that. Instead of like hyping yourself up and making sure you like do a little bit less than what you think you should do, but so that you have this motivation and consistency. And fourth, you believe that there's this one thing to rule them all. You think that you can train for like bodybuilding or like aesthetics, whatever you say. And meanwhile, you can get like a really good dip and like whatever handstand push-up or whatever you want. But nothing will get you faster to that skill than training that specific skill or like that specific weighted or strength, whatever you're training for, faster than training for that thing. You cannot expect to train like dips to get better at planche. Maybe the carryover is minimal, but if you want to get better at planche, train planche. Yes, like for some things it does make sense, but you need to figure that out, right? You cannot train like handstand push-ups if you can't do like 20 proper push-ups. And so if you train, for example, get a good base of like weighted dips, maybe like 50% of your body weight for reps, and then you go and attempt handstand push-ups, it's gonna come much easier, like it did for me in literally 3 days of training. And so for the long term of making your training simpler yet more effective, you need to want it. You need to know your goals. You need to find your reason as to why you're training. And you need to build your proof every single day that you can conquer that next difficult thing. You need to, like, maybe like on the biology, whatever side, going on your phone first thing in the morning is like, okay, it's fine. But bro, you're building proof that you're like the next thing you're gonna do. Maybe like you're gonna go down and like go for a run or whatever you do, right? You're building proof you can't do that because you just went on your phone for 20 minutes when you just woke up. And so that if you instead were to go and meditate, like cold shower, do that difficult thing you want to do, or maybe just go for a walk, bro, you will build that proof and it'll stick with you for the rest of the day. If you build that proof, bro, of that like morning, right? Then you reach the afternoon and you're like, okay, damn, I can actually do that thing. I can do that workout earlier than I thought because I have this motivation right now. So then you wake up the day after that with the same motivation, and then you have a whole week, which is pretty good. You know, yes, it's not perfect, but don't strive for perfect days. Strive for like consistent weeks and months. Set a slightly unachievable goal. Set a goal that is like slightly out of what you think you can reach. Because, bro, if you don't reach that goal, it's not a big deal. But you're gonna have done more than what you initially thought. There's no disadvantage to doing this. Yes, you're gonna be kind of sad, whatever, if you don't reach that goal. But bro, chances are you're gonna reach that goal because you're genuinely gonna take it seriously. Don't think you're gonna become like Matthew's Light in like a couple weeks. But bro, just set a goal that is slightly outside of what you think, because you're actually genuinely gonna push yourself. Make a contract, right? This is kind of cool. Write down like, if I don't do this, whatever, and like you sign here, I have to give my friend like $20 or whatever. And you like send that to your friend. And if you don't achieve that thing by that time, then you have to give him those $20. It's like a way to keep yourself accountable, right? Accountability is super important. If you're like heading down, right? Kind of, if someone sees you're doing that, let's say that friend, they'll tell you like, bro, come on. If you especially if you have that friend who's working out with you. If not, bro, you can find people online. I have my literally free community below. I break down these difficult concepts, yet there's also a community of people who do similar things like you. And there you can find that friend. You might even meet that person in real life. You can make that contract with them. You can do whatever you want, bro. And the second step to reach your long-term goals is to build an army to fight your goals. Like, you need to build this army of good habits, good relationships, like confidence in yourself. Not confidence, bro, that you went to the mirror and said like, I'm like the best, whatever. But you genuinely built your proof. You built your proof that day by not going on your phone, and instead you went for that walk. You need to pick a goal that is big enough in which you have an army. Because if it's just you fighting that goal by yourself, like no sword, no anything, instead of like having this whole army behind you, you need to have that army behind you. Otherwise, the goal is simply too small. You probably have people who flex like they got less sleep, yet they're still doing this whatever thing. Like, okay, sure, they got that like mediocre achievement, right? But bro, you want that big achievement. And so you need to have that good sleep. You need to have those good habits locked in. I talk about these training hacks, these different ways to like periodize your training, like put it into periods for like more like effectiveness, whatever, like this kind of nerdy stuff. But all of this stuff is super effective. I have it super clear. That is my free community, like I said, where I break down these difficult concepts like periodization, calisthenics, powerlifting stuff into easy to understand, bite-sized courses where you go, you watch this video, whatever, you have this like text below it, you have other members, you can ask questions, you can ask me questions, you can like tell others that they're doing well, others will tell you that you're doing well, and you'll genuinely feel like you like kind of belong somewhere. Yes, it's online, sure, but you'll kind of feel that you have this accountability because you are part of this like tribe, So, see you, bro. Keep overloading.